This is the Betsy Ross Bridge, which connects Northeast Philadelphia to Pennsauken, New Jersey, crossing the great Delaware River. With, of course, where it goes, the history of the bridge, and also the legend of the great patriot Betsy Ross, who this is named after. Let's dive in. As a bonus at the end, we're going to get right up close and personal with it, and you're going to see how big, how tall this bridge really is. It's amazing. So where does it go? It connects over there, and I'll show it to you. And you can see the other bridge, the Delaware Bridge here. We'll talk about that in the next video. I-95. And that was in 2015. It didn't always connect to I-95. Originally, it was going to go to Roosevelt Boulevard, like the Tacony-Palmyra. And Betsy Ross Bridge connects right to I-95, and it did so in 2015. Now, you're going to say, well, Mike, this was opened in 1976. This was not opened in 2015, 10 years ago. Or 9 years ago. I would use it, and it's exit 26 on I-95 in Philadelphia. I would use it to go, and let's turn around to Philadelphia, and let's look right there. You don't see a close-up of it, but that is over there, downtown Philadelphia. And that's exit 22. That's 4 miles down, and we're underneath there, the Delaware Bridge, which is a freight bridge. The Betsy Ross Bridge, as you see over here, is an automotive bridge. It was the first automotive bridge named after a woman, the patriot, the flag maker herself, Betsy Ross. Elizabeth. I guess her nickname was Betsy. Jersey. There. It connects to, well, it's Route 90, but it connects to Route 73. And it actually joins where that Tacony-Palmyra also goes. And it goes down from Pennsauken all the way down to Marlton, all the way down probably 10, 50 miles to Berlin, to go to Philadelphia and come back. And if you work there, to come back this way to New Jersey. It takes exit 22 again, come up 4 miles, and you go on. It has its own exit for the Betsy Ross Bridge right here. So you can come down here. Now, I will warn you that if you come down to the Betsy Ross Bridge, and it's rush hour, and you go down to close to Cherry Hill, and you get to exit 36 on 295, you are going to run into just a bunch of traffic. I mean, it backs up like you wouldn't believe. So you do it if you have to, but there's a bunch of traffic. I will say 33,000 people a day at least use this bridge. It is a widely used bridge. Again, it's enormous. It's run by the Delaware River Port Authority. So it is $6 going over. It's, for you practical people, again, it is $5 with Easy Pass, but that's an $18 credit, so I guess you got to pay $6 for 2 days if you use it every day and you work. There's a senior citizens discount if you're 65. I'll put a link to the Delaware River Port Authority. You can see if it's really $3 instead of $6 cash. If you're 65 or over. I am 53, so I don't know about that. I was born in Cherry Hill, which is next to Pennsauken here, before it opened. It was actually constructed from 1969 to 1974 at the cost of over $100 million. Today it would be $1 billion, right? Back then, and Wikipedia got this right, it was about $103 million to construct. it didn't open for various reasons. And originally in New Jersey, on this side, it didn't connect to Route 73 at first. It connected to Route 130, which I know very well. And at the end, I'm not going to show you, but the river line actually runs right under, and that's a train, runs right under the Betsy Ross Bridge, going from Trenton, New Jersey, the capital, to Camden, New Jersey, which is about 35 miles, where the aquarium is, for you people who might want to visit the Camden Aquarium. So that was right there as well. Now, what's the history of Betsy Ross herself? Well, Betsy Ross, and the legend is that she was approached by George Washington himself in Philadelphia. She lived in Philadelphia. She was born in Gloucester, New Jersey, but it wasn't New Jersey, it was the colony of New Jersey back then in 1752 when she was born. In 1776, and she sewed when she was young, and she was an upholsterer. And she lived as an adult in Philadelphia. And the legend is that she was approached by General Washington in the spring of 1776 with Robert Morris and John Ross, and they asked her, and there's that famous picture of her making the American flag. And she's the one who told George Washington, look, we don't want 6 stars for each of the 13 colonies, or the 13 states, as they then would be, and from now on, including New Jersey and Pennsylvania, but instead to have 5 points, like we used to draw on those maps when we were young, right? And also, my parents were actually married on Flag Day, June 14th, 1963. Now, Betsy Ross, of course, the theory is she didn't make it in 1777. It was 1776 in the spring. But the Continental Congress did pass the Flag Act for the flag to be made in 1777. Now, she didn't make that one. But the legend goes she made the first one. And they all went around in a circle, and her idea, if you ever go to her house, is she wanted all of the colonies, all of the states, to be thought of as equally important. And that is the legend of Betsy Ross. You can visit her house in Philadelphia. If you like this content, to like, subscribe. We're at the Betsy Ross Bridge here, and we're under it. And I want to show you how far we can go. And I want to show you just how massive this bridge really is. And when you go close to it, there's actually a no trespassing sign here. And I want you to see it here. Yeah, it may be backwards to you, but the authorities are worried about something, obviously, right? So we won't talk about what they may be worried about. But you can see here, this bridge goes 90 feet in width. It's 6 lanes. And it goes, and you can only see part of it here. It goes 135 feet high, enough for vessels to go under it. It was 1.5 miles into northeast Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, from Pennsauken, New Jersey. And over here, you can see going into New Jersey, into Pennsauken on Route 90, this goes, and just how enormous this bridge really is when you're up close and personal.